just to let you know and remind you again that you've got to understand that all these rulers over us are all political prisoners. They're all in prison. They are the king wards of the state. You know, they like to remind us in all these documentaries how we're wards of the state through birth certificate and legal contracts. Yeah, and the extension of that we're all wage slaves for 48 weeks and 4-week holiday that I extend on precisely. Right? But just remember the truth that they are the ones that truly are the king wards of the state. Right? They can't go anywhere without being basically ushered through security everywhere they go outside their big houses, their mansions, their palaces for the rest of their life. What they can't bear is that we're more free than them, even though we're basically trapped by their systems, and they don't like the fact that what we want to be looking for and doing is becoming even more free from them, that at the end of the day the whole media, the whole world just turns away from them all, and we continue to work for free and become more free by working in a roster in human resources of 39-13, 13 weeks by 4 people, the natural seasonal template. This will change everything and how we work in our reorganisation for our freedom, where we fix and free ourselves from all mundane duties that are key work in primary and actually needed, and some secondary that are needed, you know, consistently. You know, and we work ourselves free from these people, you know, and say we don't need you, and they're just stuck left in their mansions. Only on the, as I say again and again in these last few vlogs, that there's only compassion, the security guards, that will still let them out to usher them about here and there, you know, because they're all political prisoners. They're all basically got no crime over themselves, you know, and they're all political prisoners of their own network, you know, in the all boys club, you know, and they're stuck. What we've got to do is just disempower them, because they're not really doing the real work and the real organisation, the real forming in life of industry, or of, you know, grounds, boots down on the ground to actually do anything that's really of any worth or value or doing anything. We are the working class, right? You see, the Sutra class, man and woman, and we've got to remember that in our thinking and our strength of how we go about. Do you know what I mean? In this time and circumstance of how to defeat these people, right? They don't want you to, they want to keep you forgetting that, so you get sucked into the glare of them and the cameras and their speeches, and what you're looking at is a political prisoner, a prime monster. You see, what you're looking at is a trapped man, right? And all the treasuries beyond and their families want to keep everything the same as it is. They don't change nothing. They're quite happy maintaining destruction and deception in creation over us. They don't want to change it. We've got to change it. We change it by basically, as I keep saying, this 5-step plan. Step 1, to not vote, where you are democratic, get to 51%, and then step 2, become neutral as countries, and then become non-monetary, that is to clear all money, all debt that comes with it, and consolidate all housing and all the estate into the first estate. Yeah? And then step 4, to put this 39-13 inside all then the relevant week services worth keeping, right, of 13 weeks by 4 people, and you get 39 weeks back to yourself. If it's a career, you do 26 weeks or 39 weeks, but you must have 30 weeks if you're doing a full-time 39, in the high definition of what a career is in a free world, back to yoga. And then step 5 is to decriminalise all drugs and have more rehab stations, 24-hour priories, as I say, and long-term retreats. And because it's now non-monetary and non-governmental, the legal system gets basically reviewed, what is now legal, you know. So think about these things, right? Because this is all we have is a short form step plan of simplicity. It doesn't have to make it any more complicated, because most of us are all living in the step 3 here. The industries, small and big, where our, you know, duties of life are, you see, when we are serving, you know. And as I said, all our houses, as I say, we become free men and free women, you see what I mean, from this system's order. We don't not no more trapped by these people, you see, and we can do more what we want to do by the booking up and turning up in organisation, not the paying to book up and turn up as we are now. That thwarts your life and basically puts the kibosh on the freedom that you could have more of, you see, that we deserve in the work, rest and play, you see. the 888 that was brought in by Robert Owen, 200 years ago. We keep the 888 and we move the 48.4 out and we put the 39.13 in instead in human resources. See? And that's how we do it. And this is how we become the golden age, the flow state economy, vineyard that we deserve to be in. You see? But keep these things in mind, because this is the simplicity of it. I mean, the perks and the benefits that come with doing this, and the plus, is unlimited. It's unlimited. It's just limitless. This is there's so much you can do. From now on, from that point on. You're a free man and a woman. That place where you thought you had that mortgage over, it's not. You could pay it back anymore. That debt you may have got yourself into on your credit cards paid off. Not paid off, cleared, That mortgage, as I say again, or reiterate, the mortgage, you might have 10 years left on it till you get it cleared. It's cleared, right? That's just your place. You're now all consolidation of all housing, council, housing administration, housing association and mortgages, all just three stocks of housing in one stock. And you have more wriggle room to then choose, upsizing and downsizing and mutually exchanging. When your time is to basically do that, when you want to do that, This is the beauty, like you upsize, for instance, when you're on the council in the first estate, what we're doing the freeways, when you have the proof of a new baby, so you can have that right to then in the register on your first estate house to upsize. Or if it's the same size house you need with somewhere else, you mutually exchange, you downsize because you don't want to live in that house no more, your family's moved, grown up and moved out, and you're on owning a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom house or whatever, 5-bedroom house, and you're on your own just with your partner, you can downsize when you're ready to close it down. As we do. There's no more taking things off the market in the monetary world. You just basically wait for how long it may be, until you find something suitable, and you go about the process. This is the beauty of our freedom and way that we've got amongst ourselves. But remember, they are the political prisoners here, right? We're not. We're just. What they're doing, the escalation for our freedoms, they can make it worse and worse and worse and worse. Right, yeah, to the point where they will, to the point that we'll get our freedom to resign software, like ID cards, digital ID, making life harder they can, because it's a reflection of their own imprisonment. To the point that, they make it so bad, but then we hit 51% across the countries or trends, and this is how we beat them in step one. It's coming in the next 5 years, 15, 20, 25 years, 50 years at most, but this is going to go on, this is going to happen, and I'll keep saying these things because it needs to be said, and I need to circulate these videos until basically it starts basically hitting people, and basically people taking this conversation further, But anyway, I'll leave it there for now, but think about it and have a nice day.